Hi there. This video is a recap of Adventure Time Season 1 from Cartoon Network, created by Pendleton Ward. This video is sponsored by my merch store, my Patreon page AnimeTyler Toons, my gifting site Throne, and my partnership with W Energy Drinks. More on them later. Now on to the video. Episode 1, Sober Party. Panic. Finn helps Princess Bubblegum with her science in a candy graveyard. Soon after, candy dead people rise from their graves. Princess Bubblegum makes Finn promise not to tell a royal promise. Finn must not let the candy people know about the candy zombies because they'll freak out and explode. Finn's best friend Jake wants to know the secret. He gets Lady and Finn gets Lady and Jake alone in the closet, and soon he gets the candy people to put on blindfolds and attack the pinatas that are actually zombies come for their sugar. Finn breaks his promise to Bubblegum by revealing it to his best pal Jake. PB and Finn are in front of the Gumball Guardians, and PB gets them to give Finn an easier trial, a math question. Soon they pop up with something only Sheldon from Big Bang Theory could solve. Then they funny say, "I just thought of a better one. 2 + 2," and Finn says 4, and that's correct. And PB realizes that the number 4 was what her revival liquid needed. She returned every candy back alive. Episode 2, Trouble in Lumpy Space. Finn, Jake, PB, LSP, and Hot Dog Princess are bouncing on marshmallows in PB Mallow tea ceremony. Finn says it's hard. LSP says it's easy. Finn calls her a fake because she's floating, not bouncing. She then does it, and then she falls, bites Jake's leg. They then travel to Lumpy Space by a toad, and then after some events, as Jake is getting more lumpy, they make their way to Lookout Point. There, Finn finds the cure, but LSP causes them not to give them the cure. Soon, Jake ditches Finn, and Finn gets angry at Lumpy Space. After getting bitten by multiple lumpy people, he floats to the landmass where Prom is at there. After some time, he gets Jake to sit on the orb, and Finn gets cured. Episode 3, Prisoners of Love. The episode opens with Finn and Jake sledding in the Ice Kingdom on an office chair. Their sled breaks. A snow goblin decapitates a snow goblin who makes a cat head replacement. Soon their sled breaks and Finn rides on Jake's belly. They run down a chute and see the Ice King bearing a shoebox. The Ice King is angry about their trespassing on Finn and his domain. He summons ice monsters to fight them, but they're quickly taken care of, but soon are frozen into an ice block by the Ice King. He then wheels them to his castle, all the way talking to himself about the difficulty of moving ice blocks. Then at the door, Ice King chooses a yogurt from his trail mix. Then he puts them into the cell with the other princesses. The princesses have been here for weeks and questioned about their quirks and favorite sports. He plans on marrying one of them, but he wants to choose the right one. Finn and Jake try to escape. Finn tries to spear the Ice King with his flute, but it falls apart, and the Ice King freezes Jake. Then he tries making it. It must have messed up when I was typing it up. Okay, Jake, when he tries to making a key, when Jake tries making a key hand with magical structure powers, the Ice King freezes him. The princesses say they're not having fun in the cell, since the Ice King does not know how to entertain them. He reads them a baby kid's book. LSP thought it was lame. Ice King then forces the princesses to play musical instruments. Finn soon gets a plan. They pretend to have fun and trick the Ice King into coming into the cell and gets knocked out. There, the Ice King has a dream of why people don't like him. The Cosmic Owl says, it's because he's a sociopath. Ice King awakens after being tickled by penguins. They all celebrate the princesses all celebrate their escape, and Slime Princess wants to marry Finn. He's not interested so seeing this, Jake lies and says Finn pees himself. Finn angry, and Slime is disgusted. Episode 4, Tree Trunks. Finn and Jake are playing with swords when Tree Trunks, the elephant, invites them into her house to have some pie. The first pie is touched by a fly, so TT throws it into the trash and makes another pie. As Finn and Jake eat the pie, TT asks them what would they do if they could do anything. Finn says he'd go into space and fight space monsters. Jake said he'd carve his face into the moon, and TT said she wants to pick an apple. Finn points out that she does this all the time, but she wants to pick and eat the rare crystal gem apple. It is located in the evil forest, and Finn and Jake make her wish come true. TT is naive to the dangers of the land by putting stickers on the wall of flesh, to following a skeleton butterfly, to trying to have tea party with sign zombies, putting more stickers on a brain beast. Finn and Jake save her each time from death. After the last one, Finn snaps and yells at TT, and she leaves in tears, only to find the crystal apple on a mushroom-shaped tree. Unfortunately, a crystal guardian appears and begins copying Finn on Jake's actions. It's then when TT is just being herself that Finn notices that they must fight this tree trunk style. They put on makeup and trick the monster into letting TT eat the apple. Then she vanishes. Then she is seen in the crystal having fun. Episode 5, in Kyridian. In the Candy Kingdom, Finn and Jake and the Candy people are having a party. Then Cinnamon Buns tries taking the spotlight by doing a backflip. He crashes into the tower that Princess Bubblegum was dancing in. She fell. Lucky for her, Finn saves her life. She takes Finn to a secret entrance and shows him a magic globe that reveals the Enchiridion that's destined for a true hero. Finn and Jake go to the Mount Cragdor and meet Keeper. Said like Keeper gives them spelled P-R, gives them a riddle. Finn solves it by putting Keeper into the door lock, saying that he thought he'd look cute stuffed inside the lock. He points out that that's how most people solve the riddle. Key wants Finn and Jake of the many trials ahead. Finn saves 3 gnomes who in return are evil and are going to kill all women. This causes Finn to run away. Jake growls at the gnomes and puts them back where Finn saved them, and tells Finn it was only an illusion. What would old ladies be doing on this mountain? This cheers up Finn. Suddenly Jake is eaten by an ogre who claims that Jake's dead. Finn steals his dollar. They kicks him in the stomach, and he barfs up Jake, and they use the dollar to fly to the top. Finn then makes a plane out of the dollar and sends it back. Once inside the tower, Finn meets a dark wizard who Finn enters his brain world. He makes Finn fight an evil heart beast, then a neutral ant, but Finn refuses and punches the wizard. Then he accidentally punches Key. He sees him in his devil pajamas. Finn reads the ink iron, and PB wants to know what it says, but Finn won't tell her. Episode 6, The Jiggler. Finn and Jake rescue Stanley a watermelon and his family a pear, a banana, a pineapple, a link of sausage, and 4 marshmallows. They return them home, and on the way there home, they find a baby who enjoys a baby something or whatever, who enjoys Finn's song. They name him Jiggler. They take him to their house. The next morning, Jiggler is seen looking sickly. They do everything that they can think of to get him okay. Eventually, they return him to his real mom. She giant sized. Finn can't get her to take him back, but it's the juice. He needs to smell like his mom's juice. Jake explains that that's how wild animals know what's going on. So they return him. Episode 7, Ricardo the Heart Guy. Ice King kidnapped PB. Finn and Jake throw snowballs at Ice King eyes. This stalls him enough for them to replace PB with Jake's butt. Then Ice King kisses it, thinking he still has PB. She thanks the boys are by hugging Finn, making him embarrassed, and honoring them with a party. Finn makes a paper crane as a gift, and Jake says that Finn has a crush on her, but Finn denies this. When they arrive, no one notices them there. Too involved with this heart-shaped guy who's giving LSP a massage called a best friend massage. PB walks in. The heart-shaped guy introduces himself as Ricardo. He talks to PB about science. Finn gets jealous of him. He tries to impress PB by doing the science dance, but ends up embarrassing himself by saying, "I'm not jealous, I'm weird." Then PB accuses him of being jealous. Finn believes that this Ricardo is a villain. He and Jake spy on him to see if he's good or evil. They see him going through the trash to get bottles and rope and pretending to stab someone. And then they see him throw the Ice King into the trash. Finn believes he's a supervillain, more powerful than lesser villain like the Ice King. They confront him. Finn punches him. Then PB sees what's going on, and apparently the rope and bottles were for a science experiment. PB left with Ricardo. Then Ice King crawls, saying that Ricardo is evil. He explains that he made a spell to take control of PB's heart, but he lost control of his heart. And Ricardo said he plans to cutting out her heart and making it his bride. Finn and Jake rescue PB just in time. And Ice Cream returns crawling and puts Ricardo back inside. PB says he has no reason to be jealous anymore. Finn denies this again, saying again that he wasn't jealous. Then PB says, "Kiss me, Finn." Finn blushes, and it's revealed that it's her butt with a picture of Jake on her butt. Episode 8, Business Time. Finn and Jake are melting icebergs in Iceberg Lake to find items for their gauntlet dock. But they find an iceberg with 4 men frozen in it. When the iceberg is unfrozen, they're revealed to be businessmen. Finn and Jake hired them to finish building their gauntlet dock. Then after such a good job, they hired them full-time. And at first, it's great, but eventually Finn and Jake get fat from eating ice cream, and the businessmen have made a giant Finn robot that's sucking up all the people into their Finnbot care sack. Finn fires them for doing this. Unfortunately, they fly off into rage mode. They suck up Finn and Jake grows bigger and bigger in the tube until it explodes. Finn rehires them to freeze themselves. It ends with Jake returning to his normal weight, but Finn tries, he can't. Episode 9, my favorite 2 people. Finn and Jake are fighting Science Cat and Shark. And Jake says Finn why he never seen these 2 people before. Finn replies that they come out every day at 4 o'clock on the dot, causing Jake to realize that he's late for his date with Lady, and heads to her house. Jake brings her half an orange and enjoys watching her turn the scenery different colors. Jake wants to play viola with Lady, but she needs to sleep. Jake says sorry for being late and says goodbye and heads home. He talks to the worm that lives in his viola, Shelby. Jake stresses out of hanging out with Lady and Finn. The worm suggests that about all three of them should have a day together. Jake thinks it's a great idea and puts a plan together. On the next day, Finn and Jake and Lady have a picnic near fire pit. It looks like a lake, but instead of water, there's fire. Jake tells Finn to tell a joke. Now, Lady can understand English. She speaks Korean, not English. So Finn says, knock, knock. And he says, who's there in Korean? Jake translates. Then Finn says, diarrhea. Jake translated diarrhea, but Lady wasn't amused by his joke. Jake says she should tell a joke. She said in Korean, do you remember that time we ran naked in the farmer's field? Jake tells Finn that the joke doesn't translate well. Jake wonders how Finn can understand Lady. He remembers a universal translator at the bottom of a lake. They go there to retrieve it. Only setting that works is Old Man. Finn and Lady have a good time. Eventually, they left Jake sad at the treehouse to go to a party in the clouds. Jake wonders where Finn and Lady are. He calls the Cloud Kingdom only to find that they're gone, and he finds them at Lady's house doing what she was doing with him, making all the various colors. He becomes jealous. He calls Tiffany. Later, Lady and Finn discover Jake and Tiffany. Jake says, I'm just having a tender moment with my friend Tiffany. This makes Lady jealous. And Finn says, stop, Jake, you're making Lady jealous. And Jake says, I'm trying to make both of you jealous. And Finn asks why he should be jealous. Jake revealed that Tiffany is actually a boy. This drives Finn mad, and he calls Tiffany a homewrecker. The three end up saying that, let's not be stupid ever again. But Finn says, let's be stupid forever. Episode 10, Memories of Boom Boom Mountain. Finn and Jake are roughhousing in a city of muscle people called Mordors, fighting each other until Finn hears a cry for help. He rushes out to help because when he was a baby, he went boom boom, his word for pooping, and fell and sat on it. No one would help him, so now he's declaring that he'll help out anyone who needs it. He goes to the mountain. Once there, Finn and Jake discovered that the mountain is alive and crying rocks. He hates violence. Their first attempt ends up making the mountain sadder because now they're hurting animals. Second attempt, by accident, Finn gets one of the murders. Finn pets one of the mortars, and they seem to like this and start petting one another. This makes the mountain happy. But then they're petting themselves raw, and they go back to roughhousing. Finn has a plan for move the mountain so he can't see it. This makes the mountain happy until another mountain, this time a female, tells them she likes looking at his back. Then Finn gets more requests from other sources, mushrooms that want to dance, a cactus creature that needs to pollinate for her babies, a dragon he has an itchy butt, ice cube creature in cold water and wants to melt. Fishes they want flies off their dead mother, a toad and an electrotoad that are in debate with each other because a little blue creature took his plum and the toad stole their triangle. Finn sells this Rube Goldberg, a cartoonist who would have things like napkin wiping machine manner. The mortars roughhousing continuing. connecting a machine that is set off the mutterfish, then the flies with the coal, man's eaters. Turning out the source he throws to the coal pieces that triggers simple machine, giving the toad his plum, and the blue creature triangle the home, and make the mushroom stands in the flowers. The pollen from the flowers get the cactus picture, making them for her babies. Hair covering in Pringles. Probably mispronounced some of this. And scratching what's this say? Whatever, I don't know. Scratching the dragon's itchy butt. Dragon breathes fire that melts the ice cube little bit. It makes a foam that hat out of every flowing evaporate water. Then can't see the stream of his tone. No one is roughhousing. The Fillmore Mountain is gladdened that she can still enjoy the mountain's grassy back. Finn gets praised for solving everyone's problems at once. Only Jake tells Finn that he's got a problem. A dolphin fell in love with him. Finn tells him that's the opposite of a problem. The episodes end with the two running on the back of the dolphin in the water. Episode 11, Wizard. Finn and Jake are walking in the grass fields when a Reaper shows up, offering magic powers. Finn accepts fast, but Jake says to Finn to haggle. So Finn does, and he throws in a keychain. He's not seen receiving the keychain. They walk into the portal to meet Bufo, the wizard. Trains them both. The first challenge, Dustomancy, by eating a broom. Challenge 2, Shadow Cease. He puts blindfolds on them to touch the eyeballs. Jake peeks and says that the eyeballs are peeled grapes. Challenge 3, they go through each challenge until they're only missing 1 star. Finn wants it so bad, but Jake's content with what he has. But Buffalo tells Finn that final level isn't free. Pledge of ultimate responsibility. Finn does, and it's revealed to be a trap. There's an asteroid that's been coming to them for 847 years, and Finn gets an idea in his head of how to stop the asteroid. Finn tries to awaken Jake, but no good. The other 3 old wizards show up and help him. They weren't coming to help him, but they tried to escape before the asteroid fell. They move out of the way of the asteroid. Afterwards, the wizard says this was his plan all these years, but not only he's just trying to take credit, and he won't give away free wizard powers anymore. Finn and Jake then walk in the field again and again meet the Reaper, who offers them free demon hearts. They both say yes. Episode 12, Evicted. Jake tells Finn a story about a vampire that this freaks Finn out. Jake tells Finn it's made up story. Then they meet Marceline, the vampire queen, and she kicks them out of their treehouse. Finn and Jake go hunting for a new house. They eventually find a cave, and again the vampire shows up, showing that she owns this cave as well, kicking them out. Finn fights her, and after she bites Jake, he punches her. She wasn't fought that good in years, and lucky for Finn, Jake is fine. She gives back the treehouse, and when they return home, a king worm hypnotizes them and makes them hug him. Then he sends out a signal, possibly summoning more worms. Episode 13, City of Thieves. Finn is trying to walk on all 4 legs like Jake when they come across a city covered by a dome. A hag tells them it's a city of thieves, a place that turns everyone who enters a thief. They meet Penny outside the city, who tells them thieves stole her flower basket. The flower basket is stolen again and again by more thieves. Penny tells them about the king of thieves, but it's actually a trap set up by Penny, who's only someone who's not a thief can enter this domain. And once Finn stole the treasure, he became a thief as well. Soon Jake and Finn try to wash Penny of her evil, only ending with her stealing all of Finn's clothes. Hi there. We're halfway finished with this recap of Adventure Time Season 1. So this is my sponsor. So this is my sponsors. My merch store. I offer shirts, mugs, hoodies, and more. Support monthly on my Patreon page, AnimeTyler Toons, starting as low as $1 a month. Get my weekly work schedule posted every Friday. My animated sneak peek at upcoming anime videos. For $40 a month, get 4 Patreon exclusive merch delivered every 3 months, with a total of 4 items altogether. My PayPal donations, send as much or as little as you'd like. Send me gifts with the website Throne. I have a wish list set up, but if there's an item not available on my wish list you'd like to send a request. I might approve it. Now for my partnership with W Energy Drinks. Get 10% off your order using my code. Try one of I believe 4 flavors plus 0 sugar and no crash. Great for gamers. Now back to the video. Episode 14, Witch's Garden. While Finn and Jake are stalking Crown Frog, the frog goes through a gate and Jake uses his powers to go over the wall. Soon they stumble upon a garden filled with sweet donuts, cakes, and more. Growing on bushes, Jake begins sniffing at a donut to find out if it had any poison. Suddenly, the owner of the garden, a witch, arrives and accuses Jake of eating one of her donuts. Jake disagrees but sees the donut in his hand and eats it, and the witch curses him, turning him into a baby man body with underwear, and he still has his head, and removing his powers unless he's going to apologize to her. He refuses. Later, Finn tries to help get his powers back. Nothing works. Finn gets into trouble in the trash river, and Jake saves him. Jake can't save him. He uses his only choice, apologizing to the witch. He saves Finn. Episode 15. What is life? While Finn plays a video game, Jake comes in with a trash bag and dumps it all over Finn. It's full of butter, and Finn wants to get revenge on Jake, so he builds a robot that he's not fully built. So he goes to the Ice Kingdom to get lightning bolts from the Ice King. But Neptune has a desire to capture princesses. It's revealed that Ice King is born of both Finn and Ice King. And Ice King tries getting him on his side, capturing ladies. And Finn tries getting him on his side, pulling pranks on Jake. He eventually chooses Ice King to prank hardcore, and he does. Neptune pranks Jake. Then Neptune pranks Jake. Episode 6, Ocean of Fear. The episode begins with a quote by Pat McCall. In the dark recesses of the mind, a disease known as fear feasts upon the soul of those who can't overcome its power. Finn and Jake chase a newt after he stole boots, similar to what Jake did in City of Thieves Season 1, Episode 13. They say if newts steal boots, the penalty is poots on newts. Jake farts on him, and then they go into the ocean. Finn freaks out about the ocean. Then his belly starts to gurgle out, and out comes a dark evil cloud-like creature called Fear Feaster. He says he's a manifestation of his fears. Jake returns, and Finn tells him he thinks he's afraid of the ocean, and he wants Jake to help him overcome it. Jake agrees to help, so Jake moves Finn's legs to the ocean, and he stomped on Jake to return him back to the land, and says they'll do this again tomorrow, but Finn wants to go back now, but freaks out when a single drop of water on him and agrees to Jake. Next day, Finn awakens to find his room was transported to the ocean with a 3-step plan. Step 1, Jake uses his jowls to push Finn under the water. This backfires and causes him to jump on Jake, and uses his ears as a sail to a deserted destroyed building. Jake helps out Finn one last if he promises not to freak out time, not to freak out time by taking a submarine, or what Jake calls a sea cucumber. Finn is calm, seeing the beauty of the ocean, until Jake takes them to a dark abyss. Finn freaks out, breaking his promise, trying to get to the sub to the surface. Then Finn launches a torpedo at a sunken building. It smashes into the sub, causing it to sink. Jake's unconscious with a diving suit on, and Finn puts on the diving suit. And outside the sub, he pulls on the emergency cord. He's sent to the surface. There, the fear feaster tells him he won't save Jake because of his fear. Finn knocks himself out and sinks to the bottom of the ocean. There, Jake tells Finn he's at the bottom of the ocean. He freaks out, tries pulling on his emergency cord again, but it won't work a second time. But Jake pulls on his, help them get out to the surface. Once on the beach, Fear says that Finn will never be a true hero because of his fear. Then the limo shows up. It's three wise men who tell Finn he has the makings to be a true hero. A true hero has fears, but they do their best with what they have. They do their best. Fear conquered for now. Episode 17. When wedding bells thaw, Finn and Jake are hanging out with Jake. Finn and Jake are hanging out with Jake playing music on his viola, and Finn looking bored. Like, Jake asks Finn if he's okay. He says he always looks that way while listening to music. He continues to play until they hear a knock on the door. They look out the window to see who it is. It's the Ice King. He informs them that he's getting married to someone who actually wants to marry him. He asks them to be Marinette in us bachelor party. They have fun. Unfortunately, Ice King keeps causing problems. And Ice King is worried that his bride might just be after his things and not really love him. They convince him to continue the marriage. It's revealed that Ice King actually knew she wasn't after his things. It was actually hexed under his engagement ring's power. Finn and Jake save the princess from lowering to touch the Ice King's beard. And he ends up marrying Jake in the end. They get divorced, and the Ice King wants to celebrate his divorce with Finn and Jake. Episode 18. Dungeon. Finn and Jake are first seen being departed on a mountain topped by a swan by PB. The princess instructed them to put up warning signs around a well that holds a dungeon. It has the entrance to a dungeon. After putting up the signs, Jake sets up for lunch and tells Finn about a crystal that's in the dungeon. Finn wants to explore the dungeon, and Jake taunts him, saying that he can't do it without him. But Finn goes anyway. Inside, Finn finds a demon cat. He runs away because of Jake's scent. Next, Finn tries getting through a locked door like Jake would with key hand. It fails. He sees the key is in a jelly slime, but unfortunately he can't get it. He then falls down a waterfall where he meets the Bucket Knight, who Finn taunts because of his size. He walks right past him. Unfortunately, once the Bucket Knight adds water, he grows bigger. Finn escapes, and Finn meets the demon cat again. This time he heard that Jake's not with him. He has trouble avoiding the demon cat attacks. Finn is then found by a guardian angel who is revealed to actually be a demon bird girl who actually wants to eat him. And Jake's here, so he had problems that only Finn could have solved, and vice versa. They team up to get to the crystal. Once removing the fire demons come out, it looks hopeless until PB shows up using her swan laser. power. She saves them. Episode 19. The Duke. Finn and Jake are tossing magic potions for their own amusement. One such spell is called Catterday Surprise. They witness the Princess PB kicking out the Duke of Nuts out of the castle and decide to take no part in it. They continue throwing balls, and Finn finds one shaped like a boomerang. He throws it to see what it would do. It flies the other way, right into PB's window, and she turns green and loses most of her hair. So PB is in a gray suit filled with medical milk that'll turn her back to normal in 5 days. But tonight is the grand meeting of royalty, and Finn tries to explain what happened, but she believes that the Duke of Nuts did this. She goes crazy and ordered Finn and Jake to capture the Duke. Finn agrees because he doesn't want to admit it was him by mistake, because she said she wouldn't ever forgive someone like that did this to her. And Finn and Jake travel to the Nut Castle and go inside to find the Duke's wife, the Duchess of Nuts. She has heard of the news from the Nuts of her husband's crime, and she believes he's gone rancid. She freaks Finn out by saying, "Listen to the Nuts." Finn runs out, and they see a peanut, believing it to be the Duke of Nuts, chase after them, only it to be his son, who vows to kill anyone who tries to arrest his father. Then the Duke shows up, confronting his son, and Finn wonders why everyone hates the Duke so much if he's such a nice guy. We see a scroll reading a holographic newspaper and saying, "Why won't Jake print my letters?" And says he'll kill Jake. Now the Duke gives both Finn and Jake daisy crowns for waiting patiently. Finn offers the Duke his pudding cup and offers him the spoon, only to find that he has eaten the whole thing, including the cup. And Duke reveals he has a pudding deficiency. He always eats all the pudding. That's why PB hates him so much. Soon Finn revealed the truth about that it was he who did this to her, not the Duke. She stated that she'd be mad at him, but not forever. You know what? So sometimes when I type this up, it will jump around. That he's got to put in shit. Okay, let me see where I was at. Grand meeting of royalty. At the meeting, Jake discovers that. Yeah, it must have. Okay, we'll go up there. Okay, so basically, they get this idea to disguise the Duke, and at the end, Finn reveals the truth to Princess Bubblegum, and she says that she can never be mad at him forever. So Jake and Finn go back to the grand meeting, discover that the person sitting next to him is the Duke's son, who still wants to kill Finn for trying to arrest his father. And the host is revealed to be the squirrel who said earlier who wants to kill Jake for not putting his letter in the holographic news. Episode 20, Freak City. Finn finds out a mysterious man who says he's hungry. He gives him a single sugar cube, and in return, he's revealed to be a magic man. And in return, he turns Finn into a foot and runs away. Jake tries getting Finn used to being a foot. Eventually, Finn finds more freaks like him who were all cursed by the magic man. Eventually, they find the magic man asking for food. They beat on him and demanded to be returned to normal. And he says he'll only return them to normal once they learn their lesson. In the end, the lesson was he's just a jerk. He turns everyone normal again. Episode 21, Donnie. Finn and Jake are on safety patrol when they come across house people who are being bullied by a grass ogre named Donnie. Finn believes Donnie is just like him in some ways. He believes that if they could just help him be not a jerk. Finn sings a song about empathy, and soon Finn hears a cry for help from the town people. There, Finn learns of why wolves and that Donnie jerkness caused obnoxygen. It's lethal to the Y wolves. Finn returns only to find Donnie is nice now. He explains to Jake that Donnie has to be a jerk. Finn and Jake take Donnie to the house people. There, the Y wolves make fun of him. This causes Donnie to return to his old ways. It ends with Donnie sadly saying, "I'll never forget you, Finn." Episode 22, Henchmen. Finn and Jake are playing on a mountain skeleton when Marceline shows up behind them, behind some bushes, spying on them. Then Finn hears someone crying in the distance and goes to investigate. Discovering Marceline with an old henchman, she's arguing with him who wants to be released from his servitude because he is old and feeble. Finn takes his place. Soon, Finn goes on quests for her, like pinning down a gentleman who with a red bow tie as she drinks its color turning it white. Then Jake is outside watching in secret, and he has a plan to save Finn. Marceline summons the dead, and it looks like she's on a march to destroy the Nut Kingdom, but she really has a concert there. Finn finally sees through Marceline's commands. Soon she shows Finn this cute nut creature and orders him to slay it. But he refuses, and in return, it turns into a monster. And she says, "You should slay it. You should have slayed it when it was just a cute little thing." They both kill the monster, and soon she releases him because he's no fun. And she revealed that the old guy was an old friend of her, an old diving friend of hers. Finn pals around with Marce. She says to do what you want, to strangle some pixies, and he calmly says, "I'm up for it." She's like super evil. That's super evil, and he says, "You can't trick me because she hasn't been that evil." Jake shows up and tells Finn that Marce isn't as evil as she seems, but he thinks that she is brainwashing him and tries to kill Marce with a wooden stake. To Jake looked like he slayed her, but she was actually hiding in Finn's backpack. In the end, they promised to go pixie strangling the next day. Episode 23, Rainy Day, Daydream. Finn and Jake are hanging around out of their tree fort, getting ready for a day filled with adventure. And Finn is sleeping. Jake's jowls for Finn and Jake even writing a list of things to do. His arm, as he reads it off, a knife storm is pouring outside. Unlike rain, it rains knives. Jake runs inside, and Finn looks at it in awe. He's never seen a knife storm before. Jake pulls him inside. BMO suggests they play Conversation Parade. Both Finn and Jake find the game boring. Jake plays the floor is lava game. Finn tries stepping on the floor. He can't see the lava and is surprised when his foot actually sets on fire. Finn suggests that he's imagined that Beamo had a better video game, but all Jake can imagine is lava. Eventually he should just imagine a off switch, but it's in Finn's room. They travel up there. Once they turn off the imagination, and it turns Jake into a total emotional machine. He has no personality, so Finn tries his imagination to create a switch that'll turn Jake's imaginary back on, and he's successful. Episode 24, What Have You Done? Finn and Jake are seen in the Ice Kingdom at night, trying to avoid guard penguins wielding ice axes. Finn says their secret mission is to capture the Ice King is underway, and he says he probably shouldn't say stuff like that out loud. Ice King is seen depressed and playing with a heart-shaped puzzle on his bed. Jake surprises Ice King by coming out of a can of peanut brittle and stealing his crown. He tries fighting, but he doesn't have his powers anymore. Soon Finn wraps up Ice King with a rope and they take him to prison. in the Candy Kingdom. And soon Finn and Jake freeze Ice Cream because he didn't do anything wrong. PB revealed that he actually created a disease with his magic beer flakes. The only cure is the cries of the Ice King. Ice King becomes buddies with Ice King. They become buddies with Ice King since they freed him. They go to get those cries out after loads of tries. Finn fakes that he's going to die. Ice King wails in pain for a moment, and all of the candy people return to normal. The end. Episode 25. His hero. Finn and Jake are facing off against a swamp giant who has captured a princess after falling down a long cliff. They beat up the giant and save the princess. As they're walking home, they find the sword that belongs to the world's greatest hero, Billy. By removing it, Billy's cave opens up, and they find an older Billy. He's no longer a hero. He's retired, and he suggests to Finn that he should stop acting violently, help people non-violently. The two take Billy's advice. They try to help people non-violently. While walking, they run into a cobbler who's being chased by a dragon. They ask if they could help him with a non-violently thing. He responds with that he's hungry. So they go and make food. They make gruel free to the townspeople. He added too much stone skin potions to the food, thinking it would help them be more tough. The cobbler they met before returns and eats, and can't do his job. Finn fixes this woman's shoe with a magic nail, and it becomes a weapon. Next, they think about being doctors. LSP wants a plastic surgery. They fix LSP by turning her into a cyborg. Not what she wanted. The two soon discovered that they suck at non-violently and believe to never be helpful. Soon, the giant returns. This time he's about to grind an old lady. Finn feels like he's betrayed Billy, but he fought him. But the old woman tells him he was born to kick butt. With this new knowledge, he confronts Billy and has challenged Billy. His spirit returned. Episode 26, Gut Grinder. The episode opens with Finn looking for Jake. He then finds Jake's viola and plays it badly. This causes Jake to come out. Then they hear a cry for help coming from the village of soft people. They cry out in fear. And one of them says he's going to go wee, and they're in fear because a monster called the Gut Grinder came and ate all their gold. And Jake says he is the Gut Grinder to scare the guy into going wee. He does by spraying liquid out of both his armpits. Finn swears to justice that he'll find the Gut Grinder. They travel more, finding more villages who have had their gold. And in the Cube village, they learn that the GG looks just like Jake until they reach the Spiky village, and Jake is arrested for suspicion of being the GG. Finn wants to prove Jake's innocence. While this is going on, Jake believes he is the GG. Jake escapes Spiky Gel and attacks the real GG. It's revealed to have been the Spiky Chief's wife, Sharon. In the end, a costume in a costume that the Spiky people gave Jake hugs, and ends with them in pain. The end of season 1. So a heads up to people who like my recaps. My recap of Adventure Time will come at ASAP as soon as possible. This is what my schedule is like. Monday through Thursday, I watch one episode, 11-minute episodes. Fridays through Sundays, two 11-minute episodes. So every week I watch 10 episodes. I did the same with Teen Titans. The videos would probably be long due to the fact that there's 26 11-minute episodes per season for most seasons. I'll probably upload a Adventure Time recap every 3 weeks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and support the channel below. Thanks. Bye for now.